Hi, Drea. West Coast Threads. Hi, Linz. Hi, friends. Hi. Come on in. Come on in. I'm doing more of a chill vibe today, and I'm just gonna hang out with you guys. Hi, Krista. How are you? Come on in. I just figured I'd hop on and do a quick little Q&A, or we could just chat about whatever y'all are wanting to chat about. Shop with the boys. Hi, Heather. Jen D. Hi, how are you, Krista? I hope you're doing wonderful. Hi, welcome. Let me enter a giveaway. Hi, how are you, Shop with the Boys? I hope you're doing wonderful. We're gonna do a scarf, okay, friends? Because I have so many of them that I'm just like, we need to move them out. I'll pick a really pretty one though. All right. Okay. The giveaway is running. Let me get my iPad set up and then I'll go pick a pretty scarf. Okay. We did grocery shopping today. I'm grateful for that. Hi, stylish treasures. Welcome in, you guys. Welcome. Enter the giveaway. I just wanted to hop on here and talk to you guys. It's funny when I'm not live, I'm like, I miss them. Should we go live? Should we do should we do something on Whatnot? Hi, Fadia. Welcome. I just want to preface, you guys. Normally Q&As, I can only do them when JJ is napping. My husband and I alternate days where each one of us take the kids. So I apologize about the moving time. Just expect it when I do Q&As. It just depends. But yeah, I just wanted to do a quick Q&A and see if questions or if I could serve you guys in any way. Let me grab a scarf for the giveaway. Let me see if I can find a pretty one. Ooh, this one's pretty. Okay, this is 100% silk. All right, it's 100% silk, and it is this beautiful 90s scarf. Isn't it pretty? I love it. It's pretty, huh? Okay, I normally in these Q&As I'll do like a bit of an intro just because there are some people who don't know who I am. So I started reselling 5.5 years ago. We just needed extra money and we were tired of being broke. So we went on a long journey of reselling traditionally. We sold Poshmark, eBay, Etsy, and Depop. We did a little on Mercari, but we didn't have a lot of success. Hi, newbie. And so 19 months ago, I found Whatnot and I applied to be able to sell on the app. And we converted her within 2 shows. We were like, this is what we're doing. We are closing down shop on eBay, Etsy, Poshmark, all of the apps that we had. I think we had 7,200 listings, which is crazy. 7,200 items. We had 2 huge storage units filled with inventory, and we moved everything to Whatnot. And I sold maybe 70% of that inventory on Whatnot. I started doing $1 starts, which was super fruitful. I gained so much knowledge about the hi Shona, about just the market on Whatnot and kind of how the app works and how to best get return customers for your live shows. And I think one of the coolest parts about selling on Whatnot is like the people you meet. And just like everyone's from different walks of life. Everyone is in different different parts of the country, and it's been one of the most few. Yeah, it's so crucial. The community is amazing, and it's been that way since the beginning. Like, before, when I got on Whatnot, there was no vintage women's section. So I was selling under modern women's, and I could only change my tags and my title of the show to vintage. And to the giveaway, guys, it's this beautiful, long, 100% silk, gorgeous scarf, okay? Trash treasures. Welcome in, guys. I'm just giving a brief little history. If you guys have questions, you can put them in the chat. I know, are any of you like interested in live reselling? As a pro live seller, there are two phases. One is brand awareness, and the second is launching. What is launching? What advice would you give to someone in brand awareness? I think branding can tend to get confusing, and it can tend to Heather, you won. I love it. Congratulations. I will be doing shipping all day today and all day tomorrow, so that will go out tomorrow. You're so welcome. I hope you love it. As far as brand awareness, I think one thing that is super important when understanding your brand is that your brand is the unique and authentic you. And because a lot of times I think people are like, okay, I want to grow my Whatnot. I think I need a new logo. I think I need a new Instagram photo. They think it's like this thing that you need to edit and curate and make look beautiful. But really, the brand is you being authentic with your audience and bringing them into your world. So, like you guys know, Making Grace, I named my business Making Grace because when I thought of the name, I was literally pregnant with Gracie, and I was making her. So it seemed like very natural, but now it's part of my brand because it's authentic. It was me at the time. I was 7 months pregnant, and I was actually starting a organizing business. So I would go into families' homes and I would help them organize all of their things and help them just like get rid of things and donate things. And so I was doing that for a few years, and I just thought like Making Grace is the name that I want to stick with. And so when it goes to branding, think of it as your authentic nature of who you are. So I think one of the reasons that we have been so successful is that when I hit the live button, y'all know what you're going to get. I'm going to show up authentically myself. And that is what is branding. It's that lasting connection between you and your buyer that you are creating by just being yourself. That's what's so cool about Whatnot is you're not putting items up on a platform. You're like physically able to talk with your audience. Hi, Steph. And you're able to literally interact with your buyer. So like before, I would list something to Poshmark, and my buyer return rate on Poshmark was like less than 5%. So 5% of people who purchase from me would come back. Etsy was the same. My Whatnot return buyer rate is 65%. So 65% of everyone who purchases from me are return buyers. And I believe it's through that brand. Your branding of your authentic self is what creates the momentum of getting people to come back to your show. How long did it take you? And do you think getting into it early was a huge advantage to you? Stylish treasures. The cool thing is, it's still early. Like, listen, Whatnot or live selling in general has not hit the US. It hit Japan and it blew up. You listen to me. It hit Japan and it blew up. I think my husband said it's $170 billion industry. Like, that's insane. And in 3 years, it went from like 7 billion to 170 billion in Japan. So we are still at the front of this wave, you guys. We are, you like, there is still time to get in. There's still time to hop on the ship. Like, we haven't even left the dock, you know? But I definitely would say the more experience you have. Hi, what's up, girl? I just sent you a voice message. The more time you are on the app, the more exposure and the more experience you have, 100%, it's going to help your business and your exposure on the app. You know what I mean? And understanding, you guys, that when this blows up, I love it. I love it. Fadia, I am so excited to schedule a phone call with you so you can come and talk to our private coaching group. Like, that is going to be really, really cool. So I definitely think the more exposure and the more you go live right now before it takes off, you're going to be in the best position to blow up. You guys, it is not going to be a strange thing for someone to have 2,000 to 3,000 people in a show and making thousands of dollars. Like, that's not going to be odd. It's going to be the norm. But right now, my husband compares it to when Airbnb first started. You could post a photo of your garage with like a bed and a stove in it, and it would be, people would book a time with you. But as the market got more sophisticated, the people who were marketing their areas had to become more sophisticated. Whatnot is going to be the same thing. That's why it's so important that you build a show that is sustainable with the growth of where Whatnot is going. People sitting on the floor showing items like this it's not going to be sustainable. You're going to get booted because the market is going to become more sophisticated. The more sophisticated the buyer, the more structure and experience is going to take flight. You are going to surpass people who don't have that order and structure to their show. And so I definitely think, like, we're in the beginning phases of live selling, and Whatnot is really the only app that is producing incredible outcomes for sellers. I do. We have a private coaching group. We're currently in the works of sort of building it. So it's in the very beginning stages, but yes, our private coaching group is done on an app called School, SKOOL, and the group is called Live Reseller Pro. And yeah, it's, you pay a monthly subscription. We do a Monday call every evening, and Live Reseller Pro, and it's on the School app. You can also go to my Instagram. My husband's going to be mad at me because I'm not supposed to be promoting the group because he wants to put more better and easier accessible content. But if you're interested, you can totally go to my Instagram. My Instagram handle is in the show notes. I think show notes are down here now instead of up there. And my handle is the same as Whatnot. So making_grace_vintage. And yeah, we have a private coaching group, which Priscilla is in it. Tiana is in it. Millie is in it. We have a lot of really, really amazing people. Anita is in it. Yeah. And every Monday we get on a coaching call. My husband does like a very quick presentation, and he teaches us about business principles, how to grow our businesses. My husband has extensive experience in sales and in leadership. He was a coach for a very, very big and successful company here in Utah called Clearlink. They sold TV, phone, and internet for Verizon. And my husband's team was the top sales team in the building. So throughout the whole company, he had over 50 agents. And yeah, a lot of the principles that we learn inside our business, my husband is actually the pro at. I'm just the person in the front. His knowledge is so valuable. I've been applying what they've been teaching, and my business is exploding. It really is. So can I share your numbers, Priscilla? Or I won't share your numbers. I'll just share your experience. So when Priscilla was starting with us, she was doing vintage women's shows, but they weren't taking off. She also was doing luxury, so she was kind of doing a little dance between the two. But she started with us, and the Lord told her to go all in on it's truly, it's so good. Stephanie is in the group too, and we're really working on honing the group right now. We're realizing this is the first time we've ever done anything like this, but we definitely know that there's a need in the market. And we know we went through so many years of experience in our business to be able to help other people. One of the best things that you can do as a human being is find a coach, find someone who has done what you want to do, and you will get there exponentially faster because you're not going to have to take all of the different directions to find out how to grow your business, how to get you to it. Yes, no, you're good. Um, Priscilla's business is growing exponentially. I will just say that. And I truly think she just needed someone to guide her and tell her what was distraction and what wasn't. And then once we defined that for her, everything else was all Pris. Like, I don't want to take all her credit because she is phenomenal and she is applying what we're teaching. And we understand, like, there's going to be people who join the group and they're going to pay the $27 a month, and they're not going to apply what we're teaching them, and that's totally okay, because sometimes, you're not in the season of application yet. You're in the season of learning. Ah, I love you so much. Um, so I would definitely say to get on the app now is such a good decision. If you're on the fence about selling, please ask your questions. I feel like one of the main um, like barriers to entry of going live a lot with new sellers is the fear of failing, the fear of hitting the live button and having zero people show up and be like, I didn't sell one item. I also think another like barrier to entry for some people is that they don't know how to stage. So that there are people who love to source. They love the hunt. They love to go out and find the items. But when it comes to going live and doing the actual preparation to go live, I think that's where the wonkiness comes from. So in our coaching group, we really just are trying to break down the step-by-step processes of how to be a live seller. There's so many um, there's so many different areas in the business that can easily be simplified by just adding a step-by-step process. And when you do that, you are able to focus on the things that are important in your business and make educated decisions because you have the breakdown of everything you need to do. Like right now in my business, the number one area of growth that I need to focus on is I need to focus on show prep, which is what we call staging my show. I am not good with time management on the day of show day. So I am going to be focusing on that and focus on having my show ready the day before instead of doing it the day of. That way I can spend time with my family. I don't have to worry about like rushing or any of that. I just need to focus on that area, and I think my show will improve tremendously. Welcome in, you guys. If you guys have any questions, put them in the chat. Do you and your husband sell live exclusively, or do you also do regular listings on other platforms? We do. Joie, is that your name? Joie? No. Let me see. Let me see. Joie? Wow, that's really pretty. I don't know if that's how you say your name. Hi, Hammy. Welcome in. Hamburglar. Okay, you go by Joey. Cute. It's really cute. I really like your name. Okay, Joey. Let me read your question. Do you and your husband sell live exclusively? Yes. My husband and I, we see the wave of live selling. We see that this is a incredible time to get into live selling. And at first, we took everything off of eBay and we left up Etsy because Etsy was our highest earnings per piece platform. But most of the things that were on Etsy would sell really well on Whatnot. So I was having trouble with, like, is this still listed? Can I sell this? Like, did I remove it from inventory and then just try and sell it in a show? And the thing is like, I think you gotta pick. You gotta pick between, am I a traditional reseller where I list things to different platforms and I sell my items that way, or am I a live seller? The markets are so different. If you're looking to hold on to items for a very long time, to make the most out of every item, to earn the most out of every item, and to source and sit on the items for a very long time, I think you should be a traditional reseller. And I say that with sarcasm and with definite bias to take it from someone who was a traditional reseller for 5 years, and I worked my booty off. I was every single day listing between 60 and 100 items because I wanted to set my husband free. But with the hard work that I put into my traditional reselling business, I was burnt out. I was so tired. I did not love the volume play. I don't want to have to listen. But that's the only way you win, is if you keep listing. It was like this constant hamster wheel of like, okay, just go sourcing, get more, list, do shipping, list more, do shipping. It just was not fulfilling for who I am as a person. And I never got to interact with my buyer. I would go source these beautiful pieces and be so excited about them, and I would have no one to tell it to. No one to be like, look at this vintage 70s item. I would throw it up in a listing and someone would buy it, and that was it. Like, there was no feedback. The market on Whatnot, you get instant feedback. That is the number one reason why I will always live resell, because you will get the market feedback. It's the most exciting part of the process. Very true. It can get confusing juggling too. I'm trying to decide whether to go all in with live reselling. Quintessential, 100%. My numbers for traditional reselling compared to live selling is absolutely insane. Our best month on traditional selling, we were selling we were selling on 4 different platforms. My best month I am now doing in one show. And it's less work, less preparation, and it's way more fun. Like, way more fun. I want to interact with you guys. I want an audience. I want to go out, find the item, and be freaking stoked that I have 70 people in a room or in my show to be like, look at this. Look at this. Okay, let me read the other comments. Yes, I'm a single mom. I homeschool my kids and I'm burnout with Tish. Yes, Joey, I hear you. That hamster wheel is so real. And another thing I think what happens with traditional resellers is they get the idea that it's supposed to be fun, extravagant, and successful, because every traditional reseller on YouTube and on Instagram show the beautiful bougie parts of their business, but they don't show the actual grind that goes into it. And it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable for compared to live selling. You can totally be a traditional reseller and win at the game, but it's a lot of work and it's a lot of steps and there's a lot of room for error. You know what I mean? So I get you. It's exciting showing your finds to people. So, so true. Um, yeah. Well, sorry. Wow. I'm so happy for you. Yes. The personal interaction. Yeah. What amazing. Yes. Let the community aspect of live selling as well. Yeah. So good. Um, yes. Having a family schedule to work around is, this is the thing. Here was my step by step. It's going. We're at $260, friends. I'm gonna. I forgot to put it in my last live, but I bought a whiteboard and we're gonna write the number of where we're at. We're at $260. All tips are gonna help us get a family vehicle. We already have the vehicle. It's actually an Acura MDX, and it is a 7-passenger vehicle, and we are going to be able to do so many more things with it. So, um, but with the schedule, like when I was a traditional reseller, I would get up at 5 a.m., go downstairs, process, which meant title. Like I had an Excel spreadsheet and I would write the title, I would write the measurements, and I would write the condition, and then I would inventory the item. Then, once I processed 60 items, I would then go into my photographing room and I would take 8 to 12 photos of every single item. Then, once I did that for 60 items, I took every single one off the hanger one by one, put them in a clear poly bag, put my inventory sticker number, and then put the item in the right box, and then I would put the inventory number into the computer. And then I would have to take those items to my storage unit. Then I would have to open my storage unit and put them in there. And then I would have to print all of my labels from the sales that day and take my whole family down to the storage unit and do shipping from the storage unit. Then take the items to the post office. You want to know what my process is now? I go sourcing, I bring the items home, I wash what needs to be washed, I stage them, I sell them, I ship them. That's it. And I only have to hold as much inventory as I want to sell. I don't have to have piles and piles of death piles around me. I don't have to store anything in a storage unit. We were paying $500 a month for 2 storage units. Our overhead was insane. You can win it traditional reselling, but I'm telling you, you are going to need a team. You're going to need a team. We had 2 to 3 VAs hired in the Philippines to list our items to multiple platforms, and we had someone sharing our closet. It just was so much. And it's completely unnecessary now that there is a live selling platform. Like, it does not make sense to work yourself into the ground when you don't have to. You just have to understand that anything that you start, you're going to suck at. You're going to suck at. You're going to have 2 people show up and sell 1 item. But you know what? The next live, you might have 3 people show up, and then you might sell 3 items. And one of them actually might be a return buyer. My return buyer rate in my traditional reselling was less than 5%. It's 65% now. I have actually only been live selling for close to 9 months. I've been on the app for 18, but I had a baby. I went on maternity leave and I essentially took a 9 months hiatus. And so I've only been live reselling for 9 months. And you can do the same. And if you have a coach or a mentor, like me and my husband, you can speed that process up. What Priscilla has been able to do, Kofi Vintage has been able to do in her business in the last 3 months is like, it's so exciting because it means what Steven and I are doing in our business is actually replicable. Like we can take what I'm doing in my business, teach it to you, and you can move so much faster. Thank you, T Resells. Thank you so much. Your hair is so beautiful. What I would do to have curly hair. How do you track your return buyers? In your it will tell you in your whatnot statistics. So actually, my husband might actually make a formula for that. I'm not 100%, but my husband does all the numbers. I just go over all the numbers after he's put them in. But essentially, you're just going to take how many people from each show were return buyers. And the way you tell is if they have a new buyer sticker next to their name, you're going to know that they're a new buyer. What was really cool in my show last night is these most of the buyers from my show last night, besides like a select few, were all new buyers from like 1 to 2 shows ago. So people are coming back. Yes, I sold all my past inventory on whatnot, besides like maybe 1,000, 1,500 pieces. By the time I got to the end of doing my $1 sales, I had shown these items 3 or 4 to 5 times, and we just decided to cut the loss. Let's just move it and get it out of here. So, how do people make the big connections for getting bulk inventory to be able to sell so cheap and still make money? Mimi, I believe that wholesale buyers, one, they receive connections through other resellers, and also I would just Google wholesale and talk to different people, and people will be able to network with you. Heather, I feel you. I feel you. And what sucks about traditional reselling is you have to sit on it until it sells. If I had a ton of inventory that I wanted to move, I would do low starts. I would do exactly what I did again. You got to understand that low starts is what gets people into your show. Do I think that you have to do low starts in order for your live to be successful? No, I don't. But I do think it's going to take you a lot longer to get that consistent buyer rate to go up and to get those buyers to come back. If someone is doing a $1 start show, you're going to be able to they're going to attract more people because people want a deal. They don't want to go on to whatnot and pay $15 for a sweater. Some of them do, some buyers do, but I'm trying to create a culture where they can come back and get Johnny Was for $5. And people have done it. People have got, like yesterday, there were 3 or 4 items. I was like, dude, you got to steal. And that's what I want. I want people to come and be like, oh man, I don't know what she has and I don't know what I can get for $5, you know? Even if you lose money, in some items, you do make it up with, that's exactly right. If you're tracking your earnings piece by piece. So say you pick up 10 items and you're tracking, okay, I paid $7 for this item, $6 for this item, and you're like tracking piece by piece. I would not do that. I would base it across the board. Take everything that you sourced, put a total on it, and divide it by how many pieces you picked up. That would be your average cost of goods. Average it, because trying to track every single item and how much you paid for each one is not sustainable. Two, you're going to get a more accurate read if you average all of those numbers. And Heather, that is exactly my business model is yes, I do have $5 starts. Yes, some items only go for $5, but I had an item last night that went for 80. So when you average out my earnings per piece, this is after they take out fees and all that. I haven't taken out cost of goods from this, but my earnings per piece was $12 and some cents. Yesterday's show. $12 and some cents, and I sold over 140 pieces. So for me, I'm like, it's totally worth it to do $5 starts. My cost of goods is low enough. If it sells for $5, I still make a profit. But if I was someone who was a traditional reseller who wanted to go from traditional to live selling, I would take all of my inventory off the platform, hang it up, in a room and I would go rack by rack and say $5 starts. And you learn the market, you pay that $5, you take that hit, say you're losing money, but you view it as you're investing into your market. You may lose money, but you're going to get another lifelong buyer. Another thing you got to consider is LTV. LTV stands for lifetime value of a customer. So the lifetime value of your customer is so much longer in live selling than it is in traditional reselling. 5% was my return buyer rate, less than that. And my return buyer rate right now is 65%. So your lifetime value of a customer is thousands versus $50. You know what I mean? The numbers are just exponentially greater. And I will argue with someone all day long if they say that they can win at eBay and make what I'm making. I just don't think you can. And in no way am I trying to be boastful or anything like that. Like, I have a long way to go. I am in no way like the best, but we're working on it. Whatnot has days when they have no fees. Do you know when their next one will be? Lolo, they will send out an email. So if you are a seller, most likely they're going to send out an email, or they will put a message in your Whatnot inbox that will say, hey, no fee day. That's normally how I found out. How many pieces would you recommend having for a show? If you're a new beginner, I would do 50 to 60 items. 50 is if, like, you only have an hour and 50 minutes to go live. I think 50 items is a good baseline. But if you're like, I have a little bit longer, put 10 more pieces in. I go live 2 days a week, and then I kind of like pop in and out. So maybe 3, but I have scheduled every week 2 shows. In the beginning, though, Joey, when I first started, I logged as many hours as possible. I was live almost every day. But that was because my husband and I were in a position where we needed money. And like, we needed to get to 1,000 sales, and we needed to grow our business and keep processing the money that we'd receive and put it back into the business. So we just wanted to do that overturn rate much faster. So other people might not be in the situation that we were in. But we came from hustle culture. Like, you just hustle it out, you grind it out. That's what I did in traditional reselling. And so that's kind of like bled into this business. And right now we're trying to like take that hustle mentality out of it and let it be more flow and cohesive. But if I was just starting out, I would do more lives than 2. I would honestly do whatever doesn't take you to burnout. So whatever that looks like, I don't know what everyone's schedule is, but if I was a new reseller on Whatnot or on a live selling platform, I would 100% do as many lives as I could, because the more exposure you get, the more return buyers are going to come back to you, and the more your name is going to get out there. And that is the key. The people don't know who you are, so you have to make a name for yourself on the app. Hi, Janina, I knew it was you. You're so welcome. I love that. I don't love the hustle vibes. Me neither. I want time to garden vibes. That's what's up. Let's garden together. This is Janina. I'm back with a new account. I love it. Always love your shows. We'll bookmark some of your shows. Thank you. How's your baby? Is your baby good? I think you had a boy, right? Or was it a girl? I think it was a boy. I hope he's wonderful. I know. That's so wild. They grow so fast. But yeah, if I were a new reseller, I would literally go live as much as I possibly could, because one, you gotta view every single show as getting another one under your belt. The only way you get to where I am is through experience. You just have to hit the live button and go, 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 go. How does Whatnot prioritize who shows up first on the pages? Do you pay? I do pay, Mama Lee. I do not. In women's vintage, when I go live on Saturdays, there aren't a lot of other sellers who go live at the same time, so I don't pay for the boost. I do pay for promotion. I'm not paying promotion to get my viewership up. My intention with promotion is to get new buyers. I want new buyers to come in to create return buyers. So what happens? This is kind of the cycle of whatnot. Let me just break it down really quick, and then I will continue to break down why I pay. But this is kind of the breakdown of whatnot. If you're a new reseller on whatnot, you're going to start out with low viewership, low buyership, but that's just how it goes. But as you continue to go live, you're going to get more and more people who are return buyers. Your goal to succeed at whatnot is to focus on getting a return buyer. You have to understand what this has been like one of the most mind-blowing concepts that my husband has taught me, that has taken Priscilla and I and people in our coaching group to really understand a long time, which is you are not a product based business. You are there to serve. You are a service based business. And so many people are so focused on the product. Yes, it's important to get good inventory, but you have to understand when you hit that live button and people come into your show, you are there to serve them. The product is already there. The reason why you're a service based business is because you didn't make the product. You're not going out there unless you manufactured it, overseas. I could totally see how you're a product based business, but if you're going out there and arbitraging, getting low cost of goods and then flipping them for a profit, you're a service based business. And you have to treat it as such, meaning you have to care for your buyer. You can't be so focused on, like, does anyone want this? Oh, no one wants this. Like, I've seen so many buyers on the app who like scream at their buyer, or they are physically upset if it doesn't bid up to where they want it. Like, the mindset is to be in service. I am in service to you guys. I went and found all the items. I went and sourced it all. And now my only goal is to be kind, respectful, loving, and give you a service that is memorable. So, in the beginning of whatnot, your goal is to provide a service. Be kind, respectful. Don't be rude if your item doesn't bid up. Your goal is not to get all your items to bid up. That's not the goal. The goal is to create controllable wins. A controllable win is an outcome that you can control. You can't control that, how many people are in your show, and you can't control what people are purchasing your items for. You can't even control if people buy it. So on you have to set your win on something that's controllable. We had someone in our group who set her controllable win as, I'm going to go live for 2 hours. If I go live for 2 hours, I will win. She made $400, and I'm pretty sure it was like her first or her second show. And her only goal was to go live for 2 hours. And she said, if I do that, that is a win. My controllable win for my show is to show every single item in order, keep a good attitude, and to do rapid fire no matter what. If I did those 3 things, that show was a win. It was a win. But you have to mean it. You can't be like, oh, this is my controllable win, and then after your show be like, well, it didn't go how I wanted it. But that's because your outcome and the way you feel about it was based on things you couldn't control. So you have to make sure you're putting your focus on things that you can control. So this is what happens in the beginning of whatnot. You go live and you start to attract new buyers, and then every time you go live, you have return buyers come. The more you can get return buyers, that is when the bidding happens, because you have 6 return buyers from a previous month, and then you have another 6 return buyers from a previous month, and then that is when the bidding starts to happen. But if you're not focused on your customer and you're not focused on providing a service for your customer, you're not going to get a return buyer. But when you focus on, like, okay, I got 3 people to buy and one of them returned to my next show. Huge win, huge win. Because that means someone bought from you once, they want to buy from you again, and they did. So the goal is, how do I get return buyers? Once you go live long enough and you get those return buyers to come back, then those return buyers start to bid against each other. That's when the bidding happens. But you got to put the work in. You're not going to go live and have a bidding culture right away. You have to nurture that. And for me, my payment, my dues, I paid my dues to get to where I am by having a bidding culture. Do you guys like this? This is bidding. I paid my dues with $1 starts. I did $1 starts for months, and I sold my inventory from my traditional reselling business. And my husband and I, we were like, we cut it as a loss. We already made a profit on all of those items based on what sold in our traditional reselling business. So we were okay with doing it for $1. If I were a traditional reseller and it wasn't my main source of income, this is what I would do to create a bidding culture. I would go live. I would do $1 to $5 starts, anywhere in between there. And I would sell all of my inventory for that. I would space out my bangers, my best items. I'd space them out throughout shows. Don't throw all your bangers in the beginning, because by the time you get to show 7, to show 8, to show 15, you want to have those good items in there, and then they bid. But you have to put your dues in. You can't just be like, I'm going to go live 3 times and expect people to bid up your items. You have to view it as, I'm going to sell this item. I'm going to put payment. I'm investing into my business by taking a loss out of my product. Because the long-term goal is to get return buyers, and those return buyers are what bid against each other. So now my $5 items are, on average throughout shows, are every item, if you do it on an average, is being bid up between $12 to $17. When I first started, my average purchase per customer was like $2. So, like, you have to be willing to put in the dues, and you have to be willing to lose money. I'm so sorry. I hate to tell you this, but you're just not going to be profitable in any new endeavor the very first month. You're just not going to. I mean, I'm sure you could do the math and traditionally try and figure it out, but for Steven and I, we were like, let's give these items for practically for free, because they'll come back. The goal isn't to get the most out of every single item. That is not the goal. If you want to do that, you need to be a traditional reseller. That I hate to break it to you, but Whatnot is not your market. The market on Whatnot, they want a deal and they want to pay low prices. But if you are a vintage seller, you are in. Thank you so much for the tip, Holly. I am not even looking at the chat, you guys, because I really, really want to get this point across. But I thank you so much for the tip. I will scroll down and read everything after this. But if you want to win, I'm so sorry. This is so unladylike, but I'm sitting on the floor and my feet are sweating onto my legs and I don't like it. If you want to win at live reselling, you have to understand the market. Stop waiting for them to bid your items up to like show the good items. You can do that if you want, but understand that, like, the market on Whatnot, they want a deal. That is what they want. And if you're unwilling to do low starts and to let that item go for $5 because you're so romantically involved with your sourcing and what you source, you are a traditional reseller. And if you cannot move past the idea that you want to get the most out of this, Johnny, was because this 1970s piece goes for $700 on eBay. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if any of my items from yesterday's show, if every single one sold for $5, I do not care. Like, I genuinely do not care. And you need to get to that point. And the only way that you get there is by understanding that your goal is to get return buyers. That is your goal. And you have to pay your dues. You have to be willing to lose money. And you need to stop romanticizing your items and start them at a low start and let the market determine the outcome. You are not superior to the market because you saw that it went for $700 on eBay. It doesn't matter. The market is genius. Your buyer is genius. They will go to one of my shows now and tell me what I'm talking about doesn't work, because it does. The market, 2 shows ago, you guys, almost all of my items bid up over $50. It was insane. Priscilla was there. She was like, "What is happening?" And I'm like, this is literally because I've paid my dues. I was willing to give an item for $5. I was willing. I was willing yesterday. I was willing the day before. I was willing when I was doing $1 starts. You have to remove your romanticism of each item and the idea that you're gonna wait until you can get the most out of every item, because that's just not gonna happen. So you just have to.
You're beautiful.
Thank you. You
Even
just
when
have.
You're not ladylike.
You know what?
What?
Are you watching me right now? My husband is being a creeper, and he's watching me. He's being a creeper.
Hi, everyone. I'm working hard right now.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
You're looking at me. Should we post it on the couch?
If you are in our group, go look at the post. Let's schedule one-on-one calls. Mm-hmm. So our group is small right now, so let's schedule one-on-one calls because we want to help you in your business. So Stephanie, I know you're in here. I think you are.
Priscilla is in here.
Pris, go schedule.
I think Anita is in here.
Yeah, if you're in our group, go schedule a call right now this week. Just 30 to 45 minutes of us getting on a call, walking through where you're at in your business and what we can do specifically to help. Honestly, I think a lot of people just need either the permission to do this, like 100%, it's go time, or you're stuck on one of the pieces of the process. So you have the items, they're sitting in your house, but you haven't staged the items, or you haven't staged your studio, or it's just you just need one thing to help you to get over it, or some of y'all just need a kick in the butt and just be like, go do this and schedule your show and move forward. So if you are in our group,
if you want to become part of our group, we have a link in my Instagram. My husband doesn't want me to promote this because he's building things and he wants to put those in there, but we're here. We got 50 people in the room. If you guys are interested in being a part of our coaching group, the link is in my Instagram bio. It is $27 a month. We meet on a Google Meet call through video.
Monday nights.
What?
On Mondays.
On Mondays. And then Stephen is right now, because our group is so small, Stephen is doing private coaching calls, which is what he is talking about. If you guys are interested, please just go click the link in our bio and we will add you to the group and you can be on the call tomorrow. And we are going over, as we do this, it's been really cool because as we are building this group, the reason why I'm able to speak so clearly about how Whatnot works and how we've grown our business is because Stephen and I are actively working on how do we break this down into a step-by-step process that is replicable for everyone. What are we doing what are the tangible steps inside of our business that we can teach? I am not a teacher. I am not a teacher. He is the teacher. He is so well spoken. He is so intelligent, and this is his gifting. So him as being in the teacher role is genuinely has been the foundation of why my business on Whatnot is so successful. So if you're interested in the group, go click the link in my bio on Instagram. It's the same Instagram handle as my handle here on Whatnot, and my handle is also in the show notes. So if you're interested, please check it out.
And if you guys are in a where you're looking at this and you've been on Whatnot or any of these live selling platforms, you're like, man, there's people on here just killing it right now. I think I'm late to the party. I assure you, you are early to the party. Like this is the very beginning of this. Um, I I nerd out in in looking at all the stats of what's going on, and I was doing a lot of research in what what's happening with secondhand. And if you guys want, you can go look this up. ThreadUp, the company ThreadUp, does an annual report on the secondhand apparel market, and it's growing year after year
Alexa,
by a lot.
stop.
So, and it's been accurate from when we started. ThreadUp started doing these reports in like 2018. That's when we started, and it's been accurate. So you can go back and look at the last 5 years of reports. Secondly, the live commerce or live streaming, this right here, where you get on video and show items, is fairly new here in the US still. I know it's been going on for a couple years now, but
Tell them the stats of
but
Japan.
in China,
Oh, China.
um,
I told you I'm not a teacher. He is so good at this.
So I was doing a bunch of research just to see how big the market was in live commerce, and this is mind blowing. First of all, everything that I was finding had to do with China. So I was watching videos and going and looking at actual surveys and stats of how big this industry is. And the live streaming commerce market in China grew from $3 billion to $171 billion in 3 years. It blew up. It hasn't hit in the US yet, but if that's any indication of what's going to happen in the US, it's going to absolutely blow up here. And the younger generations, Gen Z, millennials, that's where they are the ones that are purchasing on these apps right here. So as soon as this becomes, I feel like we're at the very beginning. I say this all the time in our coaching group. I feel like this is at the beginning of like eBay, where you could put up anything and it would sell, or the beginning of YouTube, where people, as a platform grows and the consumer and the content creator or the seller becomes more sophisticated, then it becomes harder to get in, right? Like if you're going to start a YouTube channel now, you better be pretty good because you're competing against everyone else. Right now, this is the beginning. This is like Airbnb, when you could rent out a shed in your backyard and people would actually rent your
Sleep
shed.
there.
They'd sleep there, right? This is the beginning. This is now Airbnb. You better have a pool table, a pool in the backyard, a hot tub, a sauna. You need all that now. But we're at the beginning of this. So if you're like, I'm not sure, or I want to get started, make the move. You're still very early to the game, and secondhand is growing. It's going to beat out fast fashion by 2029. It's going to be a larger industry than fast fashion. The younger generation is not buying fast fashion. So this is a beautiful time to be able to jump in and to take advantage of this, because if you establish yourself now and you learn the skills while the buyers and the sellers aren't as sophisticated as they will be in the next 5 years, you can learn that skill set and position yourself so that when and if a huge wave hits like it did in China, where it grows from 3 billion to 171 billion in 3 years, we're talking about life-changing money. We're talking about full-time income for sure. And we're a testament of that. Like I left my corporate job in October. I was doing software sales, 6 figures, and it made sense for us to do that. And I think there's so much opportunity right now that if you are thinking about it and you have that desire where you are a treasure hunter, you're out there finding treasure, you just need to figure out how to monetize that, and you have the eye for it, and you're just not sure about some of these things, then just get started because now is the time.
Mhm.
And if you don't, you're going to look back 5 years from now and be like, shoot, I should have got started. It's like when you work out and then you don't work out for a while. You're like, if I would have kept working out for
I
the
would have
last,
been amazing.
yeah.
I'd have
So
a six pack.
just start now. And and if you need permission, here's your permission. Go get it done. Um, Even if it's grabbing a couple of lamps and sitting on a floor in a bedroom and just starting, just to get that feedback, just to begin. So that's what I'm going to say. And
There's someone, okay, if you do $1 starts, won't your customers' laws expect them? How do you start to increase your prices?
yeah, so we had to go through this. I think that you just at one point you will transition into doing higher. The reason why we did $1 starts is we were in profit because we had 7,000 listings between Etsy and eBay at the time. We had 2 storage units, so we were already in profit for those items. So if you're sitting on items that you can do that, then then start at $1, right? We look at it as the $1 starts of just acquiring customers, people that want to come back and purchase more. And so I honestly think yes, at one point like we would lose money because our cost per piece was over $1. So we would lose money if we sold it at $1 because you only get like 54 cents if it sells at $1. But what you're doing, you're not trying to make money by doing $1 starts. What you're doing initially is doing $1 starts to figure out what is selling and what doesn't sell. You're getting data.
Market feedback.
So you're paying for data, essentially. You're paying for data and to acquire customers. As you continue to do that, you're quickly learning way faster than you would on an eBay or Poshmark or anything else because you're getting feedback immediately. Show an item, nobody wants it even for $1, donate it, get rid of it, right? Um, Whereas if you put up an item for $1 and it goes for like $5, hey, there's something there. And so then over time, you're going to have a customer base and you're getting better at sourcing or going and finding the treasure. Then, if you need to, you can increase your prices. But honestly, right now, I think if she did a women's vintage show on Saturday night and did a $1 start, I don't think anything is going to go for $1. And if it does, it would just be feedback at that point. It's just kind of biting the bullet for that first little bit and learning what works and more importantly, what doesn't work. And you're learning so fast. You learn so fast doing it live because if we what we would do is we'd go pick up, I don't know, some items, throw them on eBay, and it may not sell initially, and so now we're sitting on items, but we're still sourcing those same items and putting them up on eBay. But 6 weeks later, we're like, these items haven't moved, but we just loaded all these items on there. Whereas with Whatnot, we can get on, see what sells, see what doesn't sell, and because we're not romantic about the item, we just donate it and be like, bad bye, learn from it, and go back through. The faster you can do those iterations or that cycle of sourcing the item, staging the item, streaming, shipping the item, and then sharing that process through social media and continuing to do that. If you can do that once a week, twice a month, whatever it might be, or a couple of times a week, you're learning so fast that that $1 start period will only really be maybe about a month, 6 weeks before you're getting really good at it. And at one point, if you have enough people in your show, it doesn't matter. It started at $1 and
they'll bid it up.
It'll bid up. What I mean by that is if you start an item at $1 and it goes to $15, if you started that same item at $5, it's not like it would have gone to $20. It would have still gone for the same amount. You just need to have the right items in front of the right buyers. So that's what you're doing. You're essentially paying 50 cents to acquire data and to get the customers in. Okay, that's all. I gotta go because I gotta work. I gotta work on the community.
Okay, there's a lot of people who were asking. I just reread everything. A lot of people were asking if I'm gonna leave this video up. I always leave all of my lives up. So if you guys miss one of my lives, just go to my profile, click my past shows, and this will be in there. So if you're looking for to be able to rewatch this, you can totally rewatch it. Mel, doesn't that only work if you buy from the bins where it's cheap? No, you can. That's what we're saying is like you have to view every item as a investment into your buyer and into data. That's how you win. I'm so glad Warm Springs Vintage. I'm so glad. Um, and it's so important that you remember that you're trying to get a return buyer. Like, your goal is not to get the most out of every single item. That is not the goal. The goal is to source a show, keep your cost of goods as low as you can. If your cost of goods is high because you don't have a bins near you, or your Goodwill charges crazy money, I would 100% um, have you get creative. Get more creative on how do I get my cost per piece lower. Hit up people on Facebook. Leave a Facebook post like, hey, I'm doing this live reselling. Does anyone have any free clothing that they want to donate to me? You have to get creative, because just because you have high cost of goods, then maybe you should be a traditional reseller, because you just have to be willing in the beginning to eat it, because that's the only way you're going to get a return buyer, is if you give them a good deal, you give them an amazing product, and they come back. You know what I mean? And yes, I will be saving this. It will be under my past shows. I let all of my shows in the past shows, I leave them in there. I never did $1 starts, and I think I'm doing okay, even when I first started. And Caroline, I'm not saying you have to start with $1. I am saying that you should do a lower start. Even $5 is great. People just want to be able to get a deal. If you're trying to milk every single item for what it's worth, you're a traditional reseller, and you're going to sit on the item for 9 months, and you're not going to have the data of whether that was a good item, and you're going to keep sourcing bad items because you don't have enough fast market feedback. So you have to like continually look at what sells, what doesn't sell, what was bid up, what wasn't bid up. And if you've shown that item 3 or 4 times, donate it. Don't even hold on to it. Just finished my onboarding session. Thanks for the great advice. You're my favorite seller, so I'm hoping to follow your example. Steph, I love vintage. Thank you so much. I like when you guys say that I'm your favorite seller, I'm truly, truly so grateful, because um when I was in the LDS religion, and I haven't shared this with anyone, so I'm gonna kind of like get vulnerable here. But when I was in the LDS religion, I received what's called a patriarchal blessing. And essentially, in like layman terms, it is a prophetic message that is a prophetic prayer that's spoken over your life, and they record it and then they type it out and they give it to you. And in my blessing, I knew that God was talking to me. I knew that He was speaking things over my life. And in it, there was a few sentences that talked about being a great example to my fellow men and women, people of this earth, being a good example to them, and that I would be different, that I would have the light of Christ in my eyes, and people will want to know why I am different. And I truly feel like that is being spoken and being put into my life right now by going live on Whatnot. Like, I feel like I'm truly on my path of where the Lord wants me, and to be just open and vulnerable with you guys, and just bring my skill set of finding treasure in the middle of a garbage bin, and being like, look at this beautiful 70s piece that I pulled out of garbage. Like, it is the most fulfilling job I've ever had. And I totally know that I am on the right path. And so is Steven. Like, we have been doing this reselling game for so long that I am just like inundated with so much knowledge of what we've learned over the years. And I just want to like throw it all at you guys and just be like, just get on the app. Just join. Just do it. Do your first live. Do your second live. Like, have a monthly goal of like, I want to log this many hours on my live. I know, Saved by Faith Co., my sweet, sweet friend, I would love for you to join our coaching group. It is much more affordable. It's a monthly payment. And I truly, truly believe that you are supposed to be in that group. Please message me. I would love to talk to you more about it because you have been on my heart, because I just know that your heart is in the right place and I know that you will be so successful at this. Um, Hi, you girl thrifts. What's up? I don't know if you're still in here, but I love you so much, and I'm so so freaking happy you're here. I, if you guys are not following Bree, she's here, right there. Please go follow her, you guys. Our sourcing schedules have been the same, so we go to the bins a lot together. She finds incredible items. Okay, she does modern and she does more like athletic wear, but she's amazing. Please go follow her. She has sold 1.3K items, which is amazing. And she's her camera presence is so good. She's just beautiful. She's a beautiful soul, and I'm so grateful to know her. Is Classy Hacked Vintage? You asked, is this on the Instagram post? Let me know what you're talking about. I'm not 100%. Is it better to have mystery pulls or just show what the item is? I think it's okay, wonderful. I think that designing your show is based on your personality. So if you're someone who is very detail oriented and you're someone who wants to have all measurements loaded, pictures loaded, I would do it that way. Shows are successful either way, but I think it's super important as you as a seller understanding who you are, what your skill sets are, and what is sustainable. I can't load my show. I can't do measurements before I'm a mom of six. I have a blended family. Um, I don't have time to preload my show. So that is what is sustainable for me. Um, and the great thing about mystery pulls is um, you do not have to load anything. You just have to get the item ready, staged, steamed, and on a hanger, and then well, they say run if they want you to run it. So that's why I do mystery pulls. But I also love the mystery. If you guys follow me on Instagram, if you're not following me, I would love for you to follow me. And you're welcome, Bree. You're so so welcome. Me too. It's fun. But I also love that you respect that like we're there to win, we're there to find the goods. But it's so fun to like be able to show my items to someone in real time, and for someone to like appreciate it. But back to what needs to happen for you to become a successful live reseller. You need to focus on getting return buyers. That is where the bidding culture happens. Each show, track how many new buyers you have, and then track how many are from previous shows. You'll see when you make a sale, it will tell you when you do your shipping, it'll put a yellow new sign next to a new buyer. If you're in the beginning, this is a great marketing tool. If you're at the beginning of your reselling journey and you're trying to get return customers and you have time on your hands, hit them up, send them a message. Be like, hey, thank you so much for being a new buyer. I would love for you to come back. Here is a $3 coupon to help with shipping, or here is a coupon code for however much, but like really incentivize people to come back. Don't spam people with your shows. Don't like send your shows to a ton of people. People don't like that. They don't. What is a good new/return ratio? Um Stephen, are you listening? What is a good ratio? Put it in the chat if you're listening. But it for me, I feel like in the beginning, my return rate was like somewhere between 15 and 20%. Something like that. My husband would know the exact data. He has like our data throughout our entire reselling career in a Google spreadsheet. But I would say, like, right now I'm at 65%, but that's because I've been reselling for on the app for 9 months. I've been on the app for 18, but actively live for 9 of those 18 months. Um, and I would say, like, not so much that it needs to be a percentage, but that it's growing. So from show to show that it is growing. And if you see stagnant growth, just keep going. Like, the number one thing that I see in especially these Q&As is like, "Hey, I'm so excited. I got approved, but I'm scared. I'm really scared. I don't know like where to begin. I don't know how to start, and I just want to be able to like go live and not worry about the outcome." And I would just say focus on what you can control. Attend Sorry, I think I missed something. What is it good? I love everyone on here. All the sellers are great things. Yes, Mama Lee. We love having you here. It's so nice. I had no idea about this app, but one of the girls that I buy from on IG mentioned she had a show on here. Cool. Okay. Thank you so much for like chipping in, you guys, and sharing what you guys are doing. Has Whatnot, how, I think you're saying, how has Whatnot changed my life? Well, so my husband has worked in corporate America for almost the entire time we've been in a relationship. Oh, are all of my items from the bins? Yes. I exclusively source from the bins. I will supplement from the regular Goodwill. Like, I think I had 4 or 5 items yesterday that I supplemented with. Not because I needed to, just because I enjoy sourcing from the regular Goodwill. I can be much more strategic, and I can be much more like, yeah, I can just be more strategic, and it doesn't take me as long to find an item. I'm so good at it now that I can be like in and out of a thrift store in like 20 minutes. Oh, you should go to the bins. It's the best. But also, like, if you're someone who struggles with maybe attention, or if you have like ADHD, I think the bins is a great way to train your mind to focus on one thing at a time. I think a lot of times ADHD is exacerbated because we're looking at our phones so frequently. Like right now, I'm looking at my phone and you're looking at your phone. You know what I mean? And it's like Instagram, Facebook, oh, whatnot. Then we just like enter email, and we our mind is like constantly being like grabbed at. Everyone is trying to get our screen time, our attention. And so what I love about sourcing at the bins is like I have to put my phone away. I put my AirPods in and I literally disappear. I don't even look up. Like Brie, when she comes up to me at the bin, she's like, like she has to like get in my face because I'm so focused on what I'm doing. And I think ADHD is so exacerbated by social media, by being on our phones, that taking like 3 or 4 hours at the bins and just digging through clothes will help train your mind to keep it cons- to keep it consistent, you know? Oh, thank you, Angie. I appreciate you. I love how honest you are and love watching you. I really appreciate that. I try and be as authentic as I can because that's how you get return buyers as well. No one wants to go to a show where you're like flat and boring and you're using a fake voice and you're not being kind, or like the true you isn't shining through. No one wants to go to a show where you're being disingenuine. And y'all, humans are so smart. We are so intelligent and we're so perceptive that we know when someone is being disingenuine. Like we can sniff it out. You know, especially if you have grown up in trauma or have had trauma, emotional trauma, that those life skills really heighten your ability to be able to see if someone's being fake, or if someone is being like passive aggressive, or, and it's so important for you to remember that your buyer is not dumb. Like, they know when you're being disingenuous, and they don't want to buy from someone that they don't first know, like, and trust. Do they know you? Do they like you? And do they trust you? If you are making sure that your service provides all three of those things, they will come back. I promise. They will come back. You know? We just had a grand opening Friday of a Bins in South Carolina, about 45 minutes from me. Let's go. Oh my gosh, am I being called out? Yes, Mama Lee. Get out of your work email. It's Sunday. Just kidding. Yeah, the bins can be wild, but the finds are amazing. Yes, I love the bins. I have ADHD, and the bins are the most calming environment for me. I bet it's because it's like pure chaos, kind of like our minds, very chaotic, but we're like, okay, we need to focus. She is always in the zone. But that's how I am too. Yep, I get in my own world. Yes, you're very inspiring. Shop with the Boys, thank you so much. I really, really like the cool thing about inspiration, you guys, is it sparks motivation for you to inspire others as well. So like, I want to be inspiring. I want you to get off your booty and hit the live button, because the only way you get good is by getting lives under your belt. If you're a new seller, go live, go, 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 go. And the only way you're going to get to where you have people bidding back and forth is by going live. That's the only way. You're not going to get better inventory. If I get better inventory, more people will come. Nope. No one cares about your inventory. Sorry. If you're a new seller, no one cares. And you have to make them care by showing up and giving them a beautiful service. And the service is the low start. The low start. And being willing to be like, yep, I just gave you that for $5 and I don't even care, because I'm providing a service to you and I want to give you this. Yesterday, my live was, each live you learn so much. And yesterday was so, like, it was so fun. Sometimes I can get kind of down and out on myself if, like, my friends who are on the app aren't in my show. And not that you guys can see it, because I never want you guys to feel like I am not having a good time, because most of the time I am. Very rarely in my show am I feeling other than what I'm showing. But I can have moments where I'm like, man, none of my friends are here. And yesterday was such a wonderful testament that your friends, while it is fun to have your friends in your show, it is not the goal. The goal is the customer. The goal is to make sure I'm providing a service for them. Having your friends in your show can create a good culture in the chat. Having a great mod, like having my friend Denise in there modding for me, game changer. To get a good mod is so important. But I straight up, like, yesterday's show, I was like, this was so fun, because I had 14 new buyers. 14 new buyers. That's a lot. Like, normally I'm between 9 and 10 new buyers. In my vintage kids, I'm higher because I'm newer in that space, but I love that I had 14 new buyers and 3 of them were my top buyers. They spent the most. So it's all about the market. What are you doing to provide a wonderful, amazing, and cost worthy show for your buyer? Like, what do you be thinking about that? Did my first sourcing at the bins today, and by watching a lot of your vintage shows, I was able to distinguish which items were more vintage. Let's go, Angie. So exciting. Okay, Closet Treasures 2 says, I'm worried about the actual technical side of the show. I feel like the onboarding was not informative. Yes, I completely agree. So Whatnot actually has a practice, what is it called? It's like, you can go into, so when you go into your little show poster, you can actually go and click a practice live. So you can practice pinning an item. You can practice, like, How do I unpin an item? I would seriously, if you're in show prep mode or in staging mode and you've never done a show before and you're like, I don't know how to run the app, I would go into that incognito mode. It's going to pretend like you're live, and it's going to look the way your live is going to look, and you're going to have all the information and buttons that you need. I would 100% make sure you know how to run the app before you go live. Every second counts. Every second counts. Keeping a show journal is so, so important. It's the number one reason I am where I am, because I know what went well in every show. I know what didn't go well. I know what bid up, what items sold for the most, and I know what I'm going to improve on for my next show. So, like, making sure that you keep a show journal. And if you join our group, if any of you joined, I saw Des that you joined. High five, baby. And I'm so freaking excited to have you in there. That's amazing. Um, if you are a part of our group, you do receive the number tracker, and you also receive two checklists. One is for before sourcing, and another is before going live. You also receive the show journal. So there are tons of resources in our group. We also have previous call slides. My husband creates slides for each call, so you can go over what we've taught previously and receive that information and really just like digest how to build your business. And my husband is so good at teaching.
Hi. Our little man's
Oh,
awake, so
okay. I
we'll,
didn't even hear him.
um,
I got
So,
you.
okay.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you too. Okay. My sweet son is awake, but I will answer these. I asked earlier, how many lives is too many for showing the same things before it's too repetitive? Des, I would say you can always kind of shuffle the items so that you're not doing it show after show after show. But I would say, like, if you've shown it 3 times, boot it, and you kind of have to remember with sourcing, you're always going to have bad buys. You're always going to have to cut your losses. So you got to understand, like, how much is this item sitting here costing me mentally, emotionally, just physically? How much space is it taking up? So to constantly turn over items, I think, is brilliant, especially if you've low cost of goods. Just get rid of it, move it, don't hold on to it. Um, I've seen a few shows like that. Yes. The bandana set I had a bid war with last night was amazing. I cannot imagine finding something like that at the bins. Yeah, my pretty Mel, that it was so cool, and I found them together, and it was so good. And I knew that they were together because they had the same brand. So, hi Zoe. I'm so sorry I fell asleep. Don't be sorry. It's not about that. That's what I was trying to say. Yes, rehearsal mode. Thank you. Rehearsal mode. Yes, it's just on the phone. And I believe it's on the iPad, or it might be on the computer too. You're an Android. Okay. How do you join? Oh, HDOM. Go to my Instagram. My Instagram handle is this same handle as I have here on Whatnot. It's also in the show notes. If you click the show notes, and you can click the link in my bio, it is skool.com. Skool is spelled like this, SKOOL. It's skool.com, and just click the link that says Skool. Our group is called Live Reseller Pro. I do want to preface that this group is solely to help you go live. We do not do any other coaching for traditional resellers, because we truly believe that live selling is literally going to take over traditional reselling, and it's going to be the way to grow in so many different areas of your life, and you're going to be able to make a lot more financially than you are being a traditional reseller. And if any of you have questions about the group, just hit me up, just message me. Is it helpful to have a laptop or iPad to be able to pin and run, etc., instead of having your face in the phone? Yes. Priscilla, you need to go and get a refurbished iPad right now. I love your face, but you need to go do it. Angie, you can, I just explained how to join. go to my Instagram, click the link. It will ask you for a few bits of information. There is a welcome post. Please post a photo of your family and fill out the welcome post so we can all introduce ourselves. You're welcome to post your shows as a post in the feed. The app is super, super easy. It's easier than Facebook. So yes, I use an iPad and it's a game changer. I am so, so grateful for it. Yes, your plan is to buy one this month. You guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you are just coming in and you miss the incredible information that was exposed here, you will be joining tonight after my live. Thank you, Heather. I really appreciate it. We're so excited. Like, you guys have no idea, but there is such a need for coaching in this space, such a need. And Stephen and I, the Lord has put us on this very in depth and detailed journey of reselling, and we understand it at a rate that we now know was very divine, but at the time was like incredibly difficult and hard to like go through the things that we went through. About yes, so repeating items, if you've shown it 3 times, get rid of it, boot it, boot it. Also, you can cycle through older items. So what I would do is like, if it didn't sell, I would put it, 3 or 4 shows down the road so that it didn't look like I was just recycling the same items. But if you've shown it 3 times, boot it. You don't need it. But thank you so much, you guys. My little man, he's awake. I do this during his nap time, so just understand that future Q&As, the time is going to change because it's based on when my little man goes to sleep. But I am so grateful to meet you, Joey. Heather, I'm so grateful you're here. You're not too intimidated by being live, but can you share a tip about shipping next time? Eiffel, yes, I am a pro shipper now. I can definitely do. I know a lot of people have questions on shipping, so I can definitely do, like, maybe I'll do a live while I'm shipping, or like save like the last 3 items and kind of show you my shipping process and the things that I choose and why. Good. I'm so glad. I know. Joey, was this your first time coming to my live, or have you seen it? Hi. Lauren, did you change your name? Are you selling? Shut the front door. Yee! Let's go. This is my iPad stand, by the way. Let's go. Yes, of course. I love you guys so much. I want to do these every Sunday. And yeah, I just really, really want to just relay what I've learned and just give you guys permission to go live. Go live, baby. But I love you all. Have a wonderful Sunday. I'm going to go clean my house and play with my babies. Okay? Thank you so much. Can you post a list of something for the items you use for shipping in your camera setup? Yes, Steph. I am actually going to be putting that in the group. If you're interested in joining the group, it will be in there. If not, I'm sure I can share with you digitally somehow. You guys, thank you. Thank you so much. Hi, Sam. I'm getting off, but I love you. Let's rate someone. I'm going to do someone from Vintage Women's, so that I freaking love Charles. She's so good. She's doing hats right now, so it's kind of Wonder Mel, Velvet Vaults Vintage, Liz Styles, Collecting Dust, the Hippie Cowgirl Closet. Let's do her. I like her. Okay, you guys. Oh, should we do Liz? We should do Liz because she is so, so kind when I go to her lives. Let's do Liz style. Thank you. I thought about it and then I was like, let's do someone who has lost, but it's okay. I love you guys. Have such a great time. Sunday, boho-ish. $5 starts and under, baby. Let's go. I love you. Bye.